Emperor Vexthor sat in his golden throne room, looking at the holographic display floating before him. The display showed a small blue planet orbiting a yellow star. This planet was called Earth by its inhabitants. The Emperor had conquered 312 worlds across the galaxy. Each planet had fallen to his mighty war fleets within days. Some worlds tried to fight back, but their weapons were no match for the Empire's advanced technology. The intelligence report about Earth made the Emperor smile with amusement. The creatures living on this world called themselves humans. They were a young species that had barely learned to leave their home planet. Their fastest ships could only reach their moon, which took them several days. Their weapons were simple: chemical rockets and metal bullets. Most laughable of all, the humans were divided into many different nations that often fought each other instead of working together. Admiral Kresh stood beside the throne, waiting for his orders. He was a veteran commander who had led successful invasions of 47 worlds. His blue skin bore the ritual scars that marked him as a member of the warrior caste. The admiral studied the Earth data with professional interest, noting the locations of major cities and military installations. "This world should fall within hours," Admiral Kresh said confidently. "Their primitive aircraft cannot even reach space. Their largest weapons can only destroy small areas of land. We will barely need a single squadron to defeat their entire military." The Emperor nodded his approval. "Take the 47th Conquest Fleet and add this world to our empire. Make the usual demonstration of power to discourage resistance. Sometimes these primitive species surrender immediately when they see our ships." Admiral Kresh bowed deeply. "It shall be done, my Emperor. I will depart within the hour." The Conquest Fleet was impressive by any standard. 50 massive dreadnought warships formed the core of the attack force. Each dreadnought was 3 miles long and carried enough firepower to destroy entire continents. 200 cruiser ships provided support and orbital bombardment capability. 500 smaller vessels handled landing operations and supply duties. The total fleet carried over 2 million Zephyrian warriors ready for planetary invasion. Meanwhile, far away on Earth, Commander Jake Sullivan sat in a deep underground bunker beneath the mountains of Colorado. The bunker was called Strategic Defense Command, but most people on Earth did not know it existed. Commander Sullivan was watching dozens of computer screens that showed information from secret sensors placed throughout the solar system. 3 days ago, these sensors had detected something approaching from deep space. The objects were moving faster than anything humans had ever built. They were coming directly toward Earth. Commander Sullivan knew exactly what these objects were. Even though the general public had no idea that aliens existed, the truth was that Earth had been preparing for this day for many decades. In 1947, an alien spacecraft had crashed in the desert near Roswell, New Mexico. The government had told the public it was just a weather balloon, but this was a lie. Scientists had been studying the alien technology in secret ever since. They had learned many things that the rest of humanity did not know. Dr. Lisa Martinez walked into the command center, carrying a thick folder of documents. She was the head of a secret research division that studied alien technology and developed weapons to fight against alien invasion. Dr. Martinez had been working on this project for 15 years, ever since she graduated from college with degrees in physics and engineering. "The fleet will arrive in 18 hours, Dr. Martinez reported to Commander Sullivan. "Our analysis shows 57 capital ships and approximately 400 support vessels. They are using standard Zephyrian, faster-than-light drives that create gravitational distortions we can detect from great distances." Commander Sullivan nodded grimly. "Do we know their intentions? Based on their formation and approach vector, this appears to be a standard conquest fleet. They will likely demand our surrender and threaten to destroy our major cities if we refuse. This matches the pattern they have used on other worlds." The secret that Dr. Martinez and Commander Sullivan shared was that Earth was not as defenseless as it appeared. Over the past 70 years, human scientists had reverse-engineered alien technology and created weapons that even the mighty Zephyrian Empire did not know existed. The aliens believed they were attacking a primitive world with simple chemical rockets. They had no idea what was waiting for them. Dr. Martinez opened her folder and showed Commander Sullivan the latest reports. Operation Starwall is ready for activation. All quantum disruption satellites are in position and fully charged. The alien ships use hull materials that will be extremely vulnerable to quantum field disruption. We estimate complete fleet destruction within 0.3 seconds of activation. Commander Sullivan looked at the satellite positions on his main screen. Tiny dots scattered throughout the solar system showed the locations of humanity's secret weapon network. Each satellite was invisible to alien sensors and carried enough power to disrupt the quantum structure of matter itself. The technology was based on principles discovered in the crashed alien ship decades ago, but human scientists had improved it far beyond the original design. What about their shields? Commander Sullivan asked. Standard Zephyrian energy barriers will provide no protection against quantum disruption, Dr. Martinez replied. Their shields are designed to stop plasma weapons and kinetic projectiles. They have never encountered quantum field technology because most species in the galaxy consider it too dangerous to develop. The irony was not lost on either human. The aliens saw Earth as a backward world full of primitive creatures, but humanity had secretly developed one of the most advanced weapons in the galaxy. The Zephyrian Empire had grown overconfident from centuries of easy victories. They expected Earth to surrender immediately or die quickly under orbital bombardment. They had no idea. They were flying into a trap that would destroy them all. The Zephyrian fleet began its final approach to Earth's solar system. Admiral Kresh stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the blue planet grow larger on the main viewing screen. His crew was busy preparing the invasion protocols that had worked successfully on hundreds of other worlds. The Admiral felt confident that this would be another easy victory for the Empire on Earth. General Robert Hayes was calling an emergency meeting of the Shadow Council. This was a secret group of 12 people who had been running humanity's hidden military programs for almost 80 years. The council included leaders from America, Russia, China, Britain, and other major nations. These countries appeared to be enemies in public, but they had been working together in secret since the Roswell crash in 1947. The meeting took place in a secure, underground facility beneath Washington, D.C. The room had no windows and was protected by thick concrete walls that could survive a nuclear attack. 12 chairs surrounded a circular table made of polished black stone. Each chair had a small computer screen and communication device built into the armrest. General Hayes activated the main holographic display in the center of the table. The display showed the current position of the alien fleet and their estimated time of arrival. Red dots marked the locations of major Earth cities that would likely be targeted in the first wave of attacks. Blue dots showed the positions of humanity's secret defense satellites hidden throughout the solar system. Ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 12 hours before the aliens reach Earth orbit, General Hayes announced. This is the moment we have been preparing for since our grandparents first discovered we were not alone in the universe. Colonel Amy Foster was the first to speak. She was a tactical expert who had spent 20 years studying alien military strategies captured from various crashed ships and intercepted communications. Her analysis of Zephyrian combat doctrine had helped design Earth's defense plans. The enemy formation follows standard Empire invasion patterns, Colonel Foster reported. They are arranged for maximum psychological impact rather than tactical efficiency. The large dreadnought ships will position themselves above our major cities to demonstrate their power. The smaller ships will handle orbital bombardment and troop landing operations. She pressed a button on her chair, and the holographic display changed to show detailed scans of the alien ships. The massive vessels were clearly designed to intimidate primitive civilizations. Their weapons were powerful but required significant time to charge between shots. More importantly, their shields were optimized to defend against the types of weapons that most galactic civilizations used. Captain Steve Morrison represented the Space Defense Corps, a military branch that officially did not exist. He had been born in space aboard one of humanity's secret orbital stations and had never lived on Earth's surface. His pale skin and tall, thin build were the result of growing up in low-gravity environments that most humans knew nothing about. Our quantum disruption network is fully operational, Captain Morrison reported. We have successfully tested the system on captured alien vessels over the past 5 years. The results have been consistent across all ship types we have encountered. Dr. Helen Carter was the lead physicist on the quantum weapons project. She had inherited the work from her father and grandfather, making her part of the third generation of scientists to work on this technology. Her family had devoted their entire lives to preparing for this day. The quantum disruption field works by destabilizing the atomic bonds in the target material, Dr. Carter explained. The alien ships use a crystalline hull material that resonates at a specific quantum frequency. When we activate our satellites, they will generate a synchronized field that causes this material to lose cohesion at the molecular level. She paused. To let the council members absorb this information. The effect is immediate and irreversible. The target simply ceases to exist as organized matter. There is no explosion, no debris, and no energy signature that can be detected by conventional sensors. The beauty of the quantum weapon was its invisibility. To any outside observer, the alien ships would simply vanish without explanation. The Zephyrian Empire would have no way to understand what had happened to their fleet. They would probably assume some kind of natural disaster or cosmic phenomenon had destroyed the SHIPS. Dr. Carter continued her briefing. We have positioned 437 quantum disruption satellites throughout the solar system. Each satellite appears to be a piece of space debris to alien sensors. They are powered by miniature fusion reactors and can remain dormant for decades before activation. General Hayes looked around the table at the faces of the other council members. These people represented different nations and political systems, but they all shared the same goal of protecting Earth from alien invasion. Their cooperation had remained secret for almost 80 years, hidden even from their own governments in many cases. The network has never been tested on this scale, General Hayes admitted. We have destroyed individual alien ships and small groups of vessels, but never an entire invasion fleet. If the system fails, we will have revealed our capabilities without achieving victory. The council members understood the stakes. If the quantum weapon worked, the alien fleet would be destroyed instantly and completely. The Zephyrian Empire would never know what had happened, allowing Earth to remain hidden and continue developing its defenses. But if the weapon failed, humanity would face orbital bombardment from ships that were now aware of Earth's true capabilities. Colonel Foster spoke again. Our conventional backup systems are also ready. We have kinetic orbital platforms, plasma cannons, and nuclear missiles positioned throughout the system. However, these weapons would only delay the inevitable against a fleet of this size. The truth was that humanity's survival depended entirely on the quantum disruption network. Everything else was just insurance in case something went wrong. Admiral Kresh watched with satisfaction as his massive fleet moved into position above Earth's moon. The blue planet looked peaceful and defenseless from this distance. No defensive fleets rose to meet them. No energy shields protected the major cities. The humans appeared to be exactly as primitive as the intelligence reports had indicated. The Admiral opened a communication channel that would broadcast to every radio and television station on Earth. His message would be heard by billions of humans simultaneously, creating the maximum psychological impact. This was standard procedure for the Zephyrian Empire. Fear and shock made primitive species surrender more quickly. Inhabitants of the third planet, Admiral Kresh announced in perfect English, which his translation computers had learned from intercepted Earth broadcasts. I am Admiral Kresh of the Zephyrian Empire. Your world has been selected for incorporation into our glorious civilization. You will surrender immediately and prepare for occupation. His voice carried the authority of someone who had never been refused. Any resistance will result in the complete destruction of your major population centers. You have 1 of your hours to respond with unconditional surrender. Failure to comply will demonstrate that your species lacks the intelligence necessary for peaceful integration. The message was received in government buildings around the world. In the White House, President William Carter sat with his closest advisors watching the alien ships on satellite displays. The ships were enormous, each one larger than the biggest cities on Earth. Their weapons could clearly destroy entire continents with ease, but President Carter was not afraid. He knew secrets that the rest of humanity did not know. He was one of only 12 people on Earth who understood what was about to happen to the alien fleet. President Carter activated the global communication network that connected him to leaders in Beijing, Moscow, London, and other major capitals. Within minutes, the leaders of China, Russia, and the European Union appeared on screens around the Oval Office. They had been waiting for this moment their entire political careers. "Gentlemen, ladies," President Carter said calmly, "the time has come to reveal Earth's true capabilities to the galaxy." The world leaders nodded grimly. They all knew about the Shadow Council and the Quantum Weapon Network. Their nations had been secretly contributing resources and personnel to the defense project for decades. Today, they would finally see if their investment had been worthwhile. President Carter opened a communication channel to Admiral Kresh. The alien commander appeared on the main screen, his blue skin and ritual scars marking him as a member of the warrior caste. Behind him, the bridge of his flagship bustled with activity as crew members prepared for planetary bombardment. "Admiral Kresh," President Carter said in a steady voice, "I am William Carter, leader of the United States of America and spokesperson. For the nations of Earth, we have received your demand for surrender." Admiral Kresh leaned forward with interest. Most primitive species either surrendered immediately or screamed threats they could not carry out. This human seemed unusually calm for someone facing the destruction of his entire world. "We reject your ultimatum completely," President Carter continued. "Furthermore, we advise you to withdraw your fleet from our solar system immediately. You are not welcome here, and your presence constitutes an act of war against the human species." "Admiral," Kresh laughed, a sound like grinding metal, "you dare to threaten the Zephyrian Empire? Your primitive weapons cannot even reach us at this distance. We could destroy your entire civilization without losing a single ship." "You are making a serious mistake, Admiral," President Carter replied. "Leave now, while you still can." The alien commander's amusement turned to anger. "Your species will learn the price of defying the Empire. Beginning orbital bombardment in 60 of your seconds." Admiral Kresh cut the communication and turned to his weapons officer. "Target their largest cities first. Washington, Beijing, Moscow, London, full plasma bombardment, maximum intensity." Meanwhile, deep underground in Colorado, Commander Jake Sullivan watched the countdown timer on his main screen. The Shadow Council had given final authorization for Operation Starwall. All 12 council members had entered their activation codes. The Quantum Disruption Network was armed and ready. Dr. Lisa Martinez stood beside Commander Sullivan, her hand resting on the master control switch. She had spent 15 years of her life preparing for this moment. Everything depended on the next few seconds. "Alien weapons are charging," reported a technician monitoring the enemy fleet. "Estimated time to first bombardment, 30 seconds. Commander Sullivan looked at Dr. Martinez and nodded. "For Earth," he said quietly. "For humanity," she replied, and pressed the activation switch. 437 quantum disruption satellites, scattered throughout the solar system, received the activation signal simultaneously. Each satellite had been disguised as space debris, invisible to alien sensors. Now they powered up their quantum field generators in perfect synchronization. The effect was immediate and absolute. Every ship in the Zephyrian fleet simply ceased to exist. There were no explosions, no flash of light, no debris or wreckage. The massive warships that had filled Earth's sky moments before were simply gone, as if they had never existed at all. In less than 1/3 of a second, 2 million alien warriors and their mighty conquest fleet had been reduced to scattered atoms. The quantum disruption field destabilized the crystalline hull material of the alien ships at the molecular level. The vessels lost atomic cohesion instantly, their matter dispersing into quantum foam that was invisible to any sensor. Commander Sullivan watched his screens in amazement. After decades of preparation and planning, the moment of truth had lasted less than a heartbeat. The most powerful invasion fleet in galactic history had been annihilated without firing a single shot. Dr. Martinez checked her instruments to confirm the complete destruction of the enemy fleet. All targets eliminated, she reported. No surviving vessels detected. The solar system is clear. Around the world, government leaders watched in stunned silence as their satellite displays showed empty space where the alien fleet had been. The quantum weapon had worked perfectly, exceeding even their most optimistic projections. Earth was safe and the galaxy would never know what had happened. 3 months passed before anyone in the Zephyrian Empire realized that something had gone wrong with the Earth invasion. The 47th Conquest Fleet was supposed to send regular reports every few days during their mission. When the first report was late, nobody worried. Sometimes communication equipment failed or got damaged during combat operations. When a full week passed without any word from Admiral Kresh, the Empire's military commanders began to feel concerned. Admiral Kresh was known for following protocol exactly. He would never go more than 2 days without sending a status update, even if the invasion was proceeding smoothly. Emperor Vexler summoned his military advisors to the throne room for an emergency meeting. The holographic display showed the last known position of the 47th Fleet. Somewhere near the primitive world called Earth, the Emperor's golden eyes reflected his growing anger and confusion. How does an entire conquest fleet simply disappear? The Emperor demanded. Admiral Kresh commanded over 700 ships and 2 million warriors. Even if this primitive world had hidden weapons, some ships should have escaped to report back. General Zoth, the Empire's senior military strategist, studied the star charts with growing unease. The most likely explanation is a catastrophic hyperspace accident, my Emperor. Sometimes entire fleets can be lost if they encounter spatial anomalies during faster-than-light travel. The Emperor was not satisfied with this answer. Run a complete analysis of hyperspace routes to that system. Check for any known hazards, gravitational anomalies, or cosmic phenomena that could destroy an entire fleet. The analysis took several weeks to complete. Imperial scientists examined every possible natural explanation for the fleet's disappearance. They found no black holes, no unstable stars, no dangerous energy fields anywhere near the Earth system. The hyperspace routes were completely normal and had been used safely for thousands of years. Emperor Vexler made a decision that would prove to be another fatal mistake. He ordered Admiral Jackstar to take the 23rd Investigation Fleet to Earth and determine what had happened to Admiral Kresh. The investigation fleet was even larger than the original conquest force, with better sensors and more advanced defensive systems. Admiral Jackstar was considered one of the Empire's most brilliant commanders. He had solved dozens of mysterious military problems during his long career. His blue skin was covered with golden tattoos that marked him as a member of the scientific caste, as well as the warrior caste. If anyone could discover the truth about the missing fleet, it would be Admiral Jackstar. The investigation fleet included 75 capital ships and over 500 support vessels. Each ship was equipped with the most advanced sensor technology in the Empire. They carried equipment designed to detect everything from gravitational distortions to quantum field fluctuations. Meanwhile on Earth, Dr. Lisa Martinez and her research team had spent the 3 months since the first attack studying every detail of their victory. The quantum disruption satellites had recorded massive amounts of data during the brief engagement. This information was helping them improve their defensive systems even further. The alien ships had better shields than our intelligence reports suggested, Dr. Martinez explained to Commander Jake Sullivan during their weekly briefing. The quantum disruption field took nearly 4 seconds to penetrate their defensive barriers. Commander Sullivan frowned at this news. 4 seconds could be enough time for them to send a distress signal or launch escape pods. Fortunately, the quantum field also disrupts communication equipment and transportation systems. Dr. Martinez replied. But if the next fleet has even stronger shields, we might face a real problem. The truth was that humanity's quantum weapon network had been designed specifically to counter Zephyrian technology based on the ships they had captured over the decades. If the aliens had made recent improvements to their defensive systems, the quantum disruption field might not work as effectively. Colonel Amy Foster had been analyzing intercepted alien communications for signs of the investigation fleet. The Empire was being careful not to reveal their plans, but their military traffic patterns suggested that something big was being prepared. We're detecting increased activity at the main Zephyrian naval base, Colonel Foster reported. Ship movements and supply requisitions indicate they're assembling another large fleet. Probably twice the size of the first one. General Robert Hayes called another emergency meeting of the Shadow Council. The 12 members gathered in their underground conference room to discuss this new threat. The holographic display showed the estimated composition and capabilities of the approaching investigation fleet. This fleet will have better sensors and stronger shields, General Hayes warned the council members. They'll be looking specifically for whatever destroyed their first fleet. We need to be prepared for the possibility that our quantum weapons might not work as well this time. Dr. Helen Carter had been working on improvements to the quantum disruption network. We can increase the field intensity by 30% if we route power from the backup satellites. This should be sufficient to overcome their improved shielding. The real concern was not whether they could destroy the second fleet, but whether the aliens would learn something from their investigation before being eliminated. Admiral Jextar was known to be extremely cautious and methodical. He might detect the quantum satellites before moving close enough to be destroyed. Dr. Steve Morrison suggested a different approach. Instead of waiting for them to reach Earth orbit, we could activate the network while they're still investigating the outer solar system. This would prevent them from gathering detailed sensor data about our planet. The Shadow Council voted to authorize this more aggressive strategy. They would destroy the investigation fleet as soon as it entered the solar system. Before Admiral Jextar could discover any clues about Earth's true capabilities, Admiral Jextar's fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system exactly 97 days after the first fleet had disappeared. The Admiral ordered his ships to maintain maximum distance while they conducted intensive long-range scans of the entire system for several hours. The alien sensors swept across the solar system looking for any signs of dangerous phenomena or hidden weapons. They detected nothing unusual. Earth appeared to be exactly what it seemed, a primitive world with simple chemical rockets and basic radio technology. Admiral Jextar was puzzled by the complete absence of wreckage or energy signatures from the previous fleet. Even a catastrophic accident should have left some traces of debris or exotic radiation. The solar system was completely clean. As if Admiral Kresh's fleet had never existed at all, the Admiral decided to move closer to Earth and conduct more detailed investigations. Admiral Jextar commanded his investigation fleet from the bridge of his massive flagship, the Eternal Dominion. The ship was 5 miles long and equipped with the most advanced technology the Zephyrian Empire had ever created. Its sensors could detect a single spacecraft from across an entire solar system. Its shields could withstand direct hits from stellar plasma cannons. The Admiral studied the readings from his science officers with growing confusion. Their instruments showed absolutely no trace of the 47th Conquest Fleet. No wreckage. No energy residue, no quantum signatures that would indicate a battle had taken place. It was as if Admiral Kresh and his 700 ships had simply vanished from existence. Expand the search pattern, Admiral Jextar ordered his navigation officer. Check every asteroid, every moon, every piece of space debris larger than a shuttlecraft. Something destroyed our fleet, and I intend to find out what it was. The investigation fleet spread out across the solar system in a careful search formation. Each ship maintained constant communication with the flagship. Admiral Jextar had learned from the mysterious disappearance of the previous fleet. He would not allow his ships to be picked off one by some unknown enemy. On Earth, Commander. Jake Sullivan watched the alien movements from his underground command center. The investigation fleet was being much more careful than Admiral Kresh had been. They were staying at maximum sensor range and conducting systematic sweeps of the entire solar system. They're looking for evidence of what happened to their first fleet, Dr. Lisa Martinez observed. Admiral Jextar has a reputation for being extremely thorough. He won't move closer until his sensors have mapped every cubic meter of space around Earth. Commander Sullivan knew they could not wait much longer. The longer the aliens remained in the solar system, the greater the chance they might detect one of the quantum disruption satellites. The satellites were well hidden, but Zephyrian sensor technology was very advanced. How long before they discover our defensive network? Commander Sullivan asked. Dr. Martinez checked her calculations. At their current search rate, they should detect the first satellite within 6 hours. Once they find one, they'll quickly locate the others. The decision was clear. They had to destroy the investigation fleet before Admiral Jextar could uncover Earth secrets. Commander Sullivan activated the emergency communication system that connected him directly to the Shadow Council. General Robert Hayes answered immediately from his secure location in Washington. Commander, what's your status? The aliens are conducting a detailed search of the solar system, Commander Sullivan reported. We estimate 6 hours before they detect our satellites. Request immediate authorization for Operation Starwall. General Hayes consulted with the other council members through their encrypted communication network. The vote was unanimous. Authorization granted, Commander. Destroy the investigation fleet. Commander Sullivan turned to Dr. Martinez. Power up the quantum disruption network, full intensity. Dr. Martinez began the activation sequence that would destroy another alien fleet. The quantum satellites scattered throughout the solar system received their orders and started charging their field generators. This time, the satellites drew power not only from their own fusion reactors, but also from backup power sources hidden on asteroids and moons. Admiral Jextar was studying sensor readings from the outer solar system when something caught his attention. His science officer reported detecting faint energy signatures from several locations that had appeared empty just moments before. Admiral, we're picking up power emissions from multiple sources, the science officer announced with alarm. The signatures are consistent with advanced energy weapons charging for firing. Admiral Jextar immediately understood the implications. The missing conquest fleet had not been destroyed by a natural phenomenon. Earth possessed hidden weapons technology, far more advanced than their intelligence reports had indicated. Emergency shields, maximum power, Admiral Jextar commanded. All ships, prepare for combat. We are under attack by unknown weapons. The Zephyrian fleet activated their defensive systems just as the quantum disruption network reached full power. Their improved shields created shimmering energy barriers around each ship. These barriers had been designed to stop the most powerful weapons in the galaxy, Commander. Sullivan watched the alien fleet's defensive preparations on his tactical display. They know we're here, he told Dr. Martinez. Activate the network. Now, Dr. Martinez pressed the master control switch for the second time in 3 months. 437 quantum disruption satellites fired simultaneously, creating a synchronized field that covered the entire solar system. The alien shields held for almost 4 seconds before beginning to fail. The quantum field disrupted the energy patterns that maintained the defensive barriers. One by one, the shields collapsed as their generators lost cohesion at the molecular level. Admiral Jextar watched in horror as his flagship shields failed. He had just enough time to realize that his entire fleet was about to be destroyed by weapons that defied every law of physics he understood. Then the quantum field reached his ship's hull, and Admiral Jextar ceased to exist. The investigation fleet suffered the same fate as the conquest fleet before it. 75 capital ships and over 500 support vessels simply vanished from existence. No explosions, no debris, no energy signatures that could be detected by distant monitoring stations. In the months that followed, Emperor Vexler sent 2 more fleets to investigate the mysterious disappearances. The 31st Exploration Fleet and the 18th Deep Space Reconnaissance Force both met identical fates. Each time, the quantum disruption network destroyed them completely before they could report back to the Empire. After the 4th Fleet disappeared, Emperor Vexler convened his highest-ranking scientists and military advisors. They conducted extensive analysis of the Earth system using long-range sensors and concluded that the region must be affected by an unknown cosmic phenomenon that destroyed any ship that approached too closely. The Emperor issued an official decree declaring the Sol system a prohibited zone. All star charts were updated to show the area as containing dangerous spatial anomalies. Imperial ships were ordered to avoid the region entirely. Meanwhile, humanity quietly continued expanding their secret space program. Using technology reverse engineered from captured alien vessels, they established hidden colonies on distant worlds. These colonies remained completely invisible to galactic civilization, appearing to be nothing more than uninhabited planets. The Shadow Council realized that their greatest advantage was not their advanced weapons, but the galaxy's complete ignorance of human capabilities. As long as other species believed Earth was a primitive backwater world, humanity could continue growing stronger without interference. Earth remained officially uncontacted by galactic civilization. The Zephyrian Empire never learned that they had been effortlessly defeated by the very species they had dismissed as primitive. Other alien civilizations heard rumors about the dangerous Sol system and chose to avoid it entirely. Humanity used this underestimation to their advantage for generations to come, slowly spreading across the galaxy while maintaining the carefully crafted illusion of being a young species confined to a single world. The apex predators of the Sol system remained hidden in plain sight, growing stronger with each passing year.